Alright guys, so today I have a Pokemon trading card game tutorial. It's going to be a basic tutorial. I'm not going to go into any fancy things or anything. But first I'm going to go over what you get in your little deck starter box. Decks are 60 cards exactly. They can be any combination of types of cards. So in your box you get damage counters and poison and other damage coin things, and you get a little nifty pad thing. It doesn't come with a rulebook anymore. The rules are, the black and white sets don't come with rulebooks. The rules are printed on the layout sheet, as so. It's got a lot of print on it. Some of the rules did change. I will go over those. I'll be going over the rules for the new black and white decks, not the other ones, because as far as I know, the new rules are what's used in tournament play. And you get a fancy little coin for flipping for things like Confuse Ray and things like that. And you get your little box of 60 cards. And now, I'm going to switch my camera because I have fancy technology, so I can show you guys the types of cards. Okay, and by fancy technology, I mean technology that doesn't want to work very well. I changed my screen recorder, so we'll see how this goes. So here we have an energy card. It's a grass energy. Energies are a little bit like PP, used in the game, but not really. If you'll see over here on the Scolipede I have here, energies are used as attack payment. Similar to PP, you need it to use the attack. And the types are different in the TCG a little bit. The grass energy is used for grass, bug, and poison. If you'll notice down here, poison is also part of the psychic energy. The psychic energies are used for psychic, ghost, and poison. The fighting is fighting, rock, and ground. And the colorless are actually really rare to actually get an actual colorless. Colorless can be used, anything can be colorless. So, like, if an attack calls for 2 colorless, I can use 2 grass, and use 2 grass, or grass and a fire, or grass and a water, or whatever. And that's usually normal flying and dragon. And these two down here, I've actually had people not know what these are. These are dark and steel, in case you're not aware. So then, those are our energies. So then we have these trainer cards here. This is what they used to look like. If you'll notice the date down here, it's the 90s. They don't look like this anymore. They're fancier. But these are essentially trainer actions, things you would do as a trainer in the game. Like, they're things you would find in your bag, or they're people you would talk to, like Professor Juniper. And they let you do things. For example, the energy retrieval, you can get energies from your deck. The Pokeball lets you find a Pokemon in your deck after you flip a coin if it's heads. So the items are very similar to what they do in the game. The supporters, the people are usually things like discard your hand, draw 7 cards, like the bill card is, I believe, 3. And then there are stadiums. I'm sorry this is so small, I don't have an actual stadium with me, so I couldn't scan it. But they don't make these anymore. They don't use these anymore. I don't think you can use them in tournament play. but they're cards that stay in play and they alter your environment like a normal stadium would. Um, for example, the Broken Time Space Stadium here allows you to evolve a Pokemon during the turn that you just evolved it, which you normally can't do. I'll explain that in a little bit. Then there are the Pokemon. You can have no more than 4 Pokemon of the same name in your deck. For example, even though these two Scoliope cards are very different, they do have the same name, and therefore I cannot have any more than 4 of that name in my deck. And then we have the things on the card itself. I don't have a basic Pokemon around here, but as you can see, Scoliope is a stage 2 Pokemon. That means it is 3rd in an evolutionary line. For example, then Venipede would be the basic Pokemon, and then Whirlipede here would be stage 1, and then Scoliope would be stage 2. There are other things on the card, like the Pokemon's number, what Pokemon it is, its weight, its height, things you'd find in the Pokedex. It's also an FG Pokedex entry down here. And if you'll notice, they are different between the 2 different cards. And then down in the corner here, you'll see you have the illustrator, the number it is out of the series, and its rarity, and the copyright stuff. Then you have the important stuff. Up here in the corner, you have HP, which is like HP in the game, and then you have its type. For example, Scoliope here is a poison type. And then down here we have attacks. You have the attack name, the energies it requires, its damage amount, and anything special that has to do with it. For example, if I want to use Poison Claws, let's clear this up first. For example, if I wanted to use Poison Claws, I would need 2 psychic energies and 2 other kind of energies. It would do 80 damage to the defending Pokemon, and as you can see down here, it would also be poisoned. I'll go into status conditions in a little bit. And down here, you have weakness, resistance, and retreat cost. The weakness is like weakness in the game. For example, Venipede is probably a bad choice for this, but I'm full of bad examples today. If Venipede is attacked by an attack that has psychic energy in it, then you double the weakness. For example, if I was going to attack this Scoliope with this one, and I used Wild Horn, if I was going to use Wild Horn on my target Pokemon over here, on my target Scoliope, because it has a psychic energy in the attack, I would times the damage by 2. So instead of 50, if I got tails on my coin flips, if it did 50, it would times that by 2 and it would do 100 instead of normal because of the weakness. Again, I'm full of bad examples today because none of the cards I have here have any resistance. The resistance would be like things like electric to ground or something. It's like in the game, it's things that normally wouldn't do damage or does very little damage. It's the same thing as weakness. You subtract an amount from the attack number. And then on here you have retreat. This is how many energies it'll cost you to retreat this Pokemon and replace it with another one. For example, if I wanted to retreat this Scoliope, I would have to take 3 energies off of it before I can remove it from play. Then there are some special Pokemon. like, as you can notice, we have a dark Jolteon here. Basic Pokemon, like Eevee, will normally not be dark or light or anything. But the second and third stage can be. For example, if I have a Dragonair, I'm going to draw a very bad Dragonair right now. If I have a dark Dragonair, which I do, just not with me right now. If I have a dark Dragonair, and I want to evolve it into Dragonite, it has to be, that's a D, it has to be a dark Dragonite. It cannot be light or normal Dragonite. The dark Pokemon are from a certain Team Rocket series. There are also Gym Leader Pokemon, which applies to the same thing. If you have a Koga's Pidgey, you have to evolve it into a Koga's Pidgeot. You cannot evolve it into a regular Pidgeot. I think that is all. Let's... Because you're dumb, I can't... Where are my notes? I have an agenda this time. I don't have any cards that have this on them, but if you'll see here, this would be a Pokebody. They are called abilities now in the new things, but they are like abilities in the game. For example, the gravitation on this Metagross, it would affect the HP, like its ability would in the game. That's all for the specific type of cards. I'm going to go into how I actually played the game. I'm going to do this the best I can without a tripod. I've got my camera tilted on a couple of boxes on the very edge of my desk right now, so, yeah. So I have my deck. I'm going to shuffle it. And before you draw any cards, you and your partner should, or your opponent, should flip a coin and call your side, and whoever wins gets to go first. The first thing you're going to do, I'm going to set my deck off to my left here. First thing you're going to do is you're going to draw 6 cards. Do not look at them. 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to set them off to your left. I'll show you in a minute. Again, I wish I had a tripod. I should invest in one of those. You're going to set them off to your left like this. These are your prize cards. Whenever you defeat one of your opponent's Pokemon, you get to grab one of those. If I can get my camera to do the same thing it did before. There we go. And then whoever's going first, or both of you really, can draw 7 cards. In order for gameplay to ensue, the person going first has to have at least one basic Pokemon in their hand, because you cannot play a Stage 1 or Stage 2 Pokemon first. You have to evolve it up from the basic. So here in my hand I have 3 Grass Energies, an Electric Energy, a Whirlipede, a Deerling, and a Snivy. I cannot set the Whirlipede down until I have the Venipede to evolve it from. So then, from your hand, you can take... I'll show you in a second. I'll take my basic Pokemon, and I'm going to stick them down in my bench. I have to pick up my push pins that just fell. Hang on a second. You can have however many Pokemon you want in your bench. You can put them directly in there once you draw them, or you can keep them in your hand. Get my stand back up. So like I put Snivy and Deerling in my bench, which is off to the right of my deck file. Then here in my hand I have these energies and this Whirlipede that I can't use yet. First thing you want to do is send out a Pokemon. I'm going to send out Snivy. And for each turn you can attach 1 energy to 1 Pokemon. So I'm going to attach this Grass Energy to Snivy. And if I had someone going against me, here, if I had someone going against me, they would have the same setup, just mirrored on the opposite side of me, and your active Pokemon would go up here, and your opponent's Pokemon would be right here. Like if I was going to go now, I have one grass energy on my Snivy, so he can use Tackle. So I would use Tackle on my opponent's Pokemon, and you would take one of your little damage counters that I don't have out, so you would stick it on your opponent's Pokemon. Then when your turn is over, it's your opponent's turn. You can only evolve one Pokemon once per turn. At the beginning of your turn, you draw one card. For example, I just drew my Professor Juniper card. You can do pretty much anything you want before you attack, but once you attack, after you attack, your turn is over. So, for example, I'm going to use Juniper here, and I'm going to discard my hand. I'm going to stick it in my discard pile, which is right above the deck pile. And I'm going to discard my entire hand, stick it in the pile, and draw 7 new cards. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so this is my new hand. I'm sorry about the light. I'm going to take my Buffalont, my basic Pokemon, and I'm going to stick it in my bench. And then I'm also going to evolve my Snivy into Servine. Like I said, you can evolve one Pokemon once per turn. Then I'm going to stick an energy on him. And then if I was going to attack, I could use either attack, because Servine's Tackle takes 2 energies. And again, colorless energies can be any energy. And that's pretty much how it works. This would be your deck, your discard pile, your bench, which would be your inactive Pokemon. This would be your active Pokemon. Your opponents would be over here. Your opponent's bench would be back where my screen is. These would be your prize cards, the first 6 cards on the top of your deck, and you draw one. You draw one when you defeat one of your opponent's Pokemon. For example, if Servine were to faint my opponent's Pokemon, I could choose any of these 6 cards I wanted. I could pick it up, and I could stick it in my hand. Or in this case, if Venipede, it's a basic Pokemon, I can just stick it in my bench. If you missed it in the intro, these are your damage counters and stuff. I'm going to pop out the poison and the burn right now. So I'm going to go over status conditions. For example, if Servine here were to get attacked by Confused Ray or something else that makes him confused, you would turn him upside down, and he's confused, and then every time you attack you have to flip a coin, and if the coin is heads, you attack normally, and if it flips tails, your confused Pokemon receives 3 damage counters, and your turn is over. If Servine here were to get poisoned, I would stick the little poison thing on there, and then every turn you must put 1 damage counter on it. If it were burned, you stick the little burn thing on there, and it's kind of like poison. In the game it's like poison, but in the TCG, you flip a coin again, and you can remove, and if it's heads, you can remove the burn status. If you get tails, though, you have to put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon. And like in the game, none of these status things can be stacked on top of each other, so you can't be poisoned and burned, you can't be stuff like that. Then if your Pokemon's asleep, you're going to turn it so the name of the Pokemon faces to the left. And then, again, you flip a coin every turn to see whether you can get out of sleep. Or at the end of your turn, sorry. At the end of your turn, you're going to flip a coin to see if you can come out of sleep. If the coin is heads, the Pokemon can wake up. This is a lot of info. I will type this up in a short little dealy. I will also have a link to this website about the TCG down in the description. Anyway, where was I? Paralyzed. If it's paralyzed, you're going to turn it so the name of your Pokemon is to the right. And if you're paralyzed, you're going to flip a coin to see if you can attack or not. Paralysis is only one turn. So, you cannot attack or do anything for one turn, and then after your turn, your paralysis is over. You lose if you run out of cards. So, for example, if I had no more cards left in my deck or my hand, I would lose. You win once you take all your prize cards, which would be the same thing as defeating 6 of your opponent's Pokemon, similar to in the game. And that's that. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. I know it's kind of a long video, but there's your basic Pokemon tutorial.